Does my hair look okay? Good. Happy hump day, everybody. Um, so, yeah, that was quite an exciting list of events last night, and technically yesterday as well. I mean, it went from being, like, incredibly rainy to the point you could actually hear how bad it was from where I am right now to essentially being one of the hottest days we've had all summer. What is going on? I don't know. Maybe, I was gonna do, why not? I'm a Pokemon fan. I'll be happy to make this reference. Maybe Groudon has finally emerged and is making Kyogre subside. I don't know. Just, yeah, I did say I'm a Pokemon fan. What can I say? It's monsters fighting each other. It's awesome. So yes, yesterday was America's Got Talent and the newest episode of Amphibia. So how about I get to America's Got Talent first? So yes, apparently nothing says love like having knives thrown at you. Oh, I mean, I love how it was. Well, basically, the first act was a husband-wife couple, which is always a romantic thing. She plays the violin, and he is an opera singer. And Simon Cowell just didn't really like how he sounded. But at some point during the act, he's singing the opera, and she puts down the violin, takes out incredibly sharp knives, and throws them at him. The singer, her husband, that is. So, yeah. Again, nothing says love like having knives thrown at you. Although I love how, in the beginning it was 3 yeses, and obviously Simon was a no. But Simon's like, if you throw a knife at me successfully, I'll turn it into a yes. So, she did, and now it's 4 yeses, which is nice. And then, there was actually, there was technically, two dance-related acts last night, but I'll get to, the other one a little bit later. So I will be the one to admit foremost of like that 3-sided triangle that is, acting, singing, and dancing. Dancing is the thing that I am legitimately like the weakest at. Not that I'm bad at it by any stretch of the imagination. In fact, I can actually pick up on rhythm pretty easily. It's just, of those 3 things, dancing is what I did the least. But with that being said, I can definitely appreciate, dance of any, age or any type or whatever. So with that said, when you have 2 children, a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old, do contemporary dance like that, like, those kids are going to have a future. They totally are. So that was a very nice act right there. Let's see. A few questionable ones in terms of, the when Simon Cowell gave that the singer a second chance, that from Alabama. I mean, he didn't sound bad, but I could definitely tell he really needs to work on his library of music in terms of what he's able to do. A few really good ones though, singing wise. The choir from South Africa, they were awesome. It's really great to see cultures from all over the world in general, but to see them on AGT is always a real treat. Actually, you know what? Speaking of opera, how about that 10-year-old girl? A 10-year-old girl who's able to sing opera like that. And yeah, that was awesome. The VR act that they got Howie to be on stage for, that was really fun to watch. Oh, what else is there? There was another dog related performance that was always I mean, dogs are adorable. We all know this. We all love dogs. They are man's best friend. So the fact the fact that the dog was able to perform the way they did, that was awesome. Okay, full disclosure, and I learned this from watching Ed, and Eddie of all things, but shadow puppetry is one of the oldest forms of entertainment. So the fact they were able to perform it on a stage like AGT is, well, to call it a treat would be a real understatement. I'll put it to you that way. So, yes, I love me some shadow puppetry. I can do a couple things. I can do the rabbit. I can do the dog. Sorry. Yeah, it's a dog. So there's that. Don't ever make fun of death. Let death make fun of you. That's another thing I learned last night. And, okay, can we talk about how it was probably the most awkward golden buzzer ever? I mean, the dance act was nothing short of phenomenal. I loved it. But, again, leave the golden buzzer buzzing to the judges and Terry Crews. With that being said, though, it was still fun to watch. I mean, the dancer at the very end who accidentally buzzed the golden buzzer himself, again, dancing isn't really what I'm very good at, or very, isn't really among my strengths, if you will. But I do appreciate dancing if it's fun, and that was definitely fun to watch. So now that is taken care of, let's move on to the newest episode of Amphibia, which premiered, yesterday, which was very fun to watch. And the episode, well, two segments were Sprig versus Hop Pop and Girl Time. Yes, I will refer to that episode as Girl Time because that is awesome. I love me some girl time. Yes, a grown man can have some girl time. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But I'll get to that momentarily. So, Sprig versus Hop Pop is basically, the premise is your typical, the elder, in this case Hop Pop, doesn't really like taking suggestions for anyone, from anyone, etc., etc. Even if for a fact that the suggestions involved really could make things, a lot easier for themselves or others, that'd be great. So Sprig's like, no, I challenge you, and then I'll run the farm and stuff like that. And so Anne, it's like, I'm sure this will all make sense in a minute. And that Anne's like, nope. So apparently in order to challenge someone, it's kind of like a sumo match where, you gotta push someone out of the ring. The only difference is you can actually lay on the ground if you have to and stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Although, you can tell for a fact that I am a Disney fan, and you can tell for a fact that this is a Disney show, when the way Sprig defeats Hop Pop is straight out of The Lion King. It is. Don't think I didn't pay attention to that. I totally did. But, yeah. And by the way, I mean the good Lion King, the animated one that came out when I was 5 years old, not the bad one that's going to come out in July. I'm sorry, but they're saying that movie's not live action at all. Live action would also imply that there are actual physical human beings in there. There are no human beings in The Lion King. There wasn't any human beings in the original Lion King. I mean, it's probably going to do really well at the box office. It's probably going to have like a really relatively high rating on Rotten Tomatoes or something. I don't know. But yeah, that happened. And so Sprig wins. He gets control of the farm. And at first, the suggestions he makes, are fun. They have a pool. They build themselves like a slide and stuff like that. It's basically the kind of episode where having too many suggestions or, accepting too many suggestions, stuff like that can be bad. But not even hearing them out at all is also bad. So, there's gotta be room for compromise. It's a good lesson for kids to learn. Although it was funny how they have like a suggestion bell, right? And in the beginning of the episode, Sprig puts a suggestion into the barrel. And then Anne's like, does Hop Pop actually read these? And then Potter's like, seriously doubt it. And then it turns out they knock the barrel over, and you would think like that there'd be like the suggestions would spell out or whatever. No, it's a pit of fire. It's actually a pit of fire that the suggestions, go into. So, yeah, that was fun. And so at the end of the episode, Hop Hop takes control back of the farm. Things are back to normal. And, he starts reading suggestions again. And so now what he does is, if he doesn't like it, he will straight up burn it. But if he likes it, like, I'll keep this. I'll hear it out. We'll see what happens. So that's nice. And now we get into the other episode, Girl Time, where, Polly being, surrounded by Sprig and Hop Pop, she's surrounded by boys. And Anne thinks, that can sort of lead into not a very ladylike behavior. So, again, Girl Time suggests what it's exactly what it is. They go to the spa, they go shopping for clothes. I'm sorry, I like montages like that. I do. I'm a sucker for stuff like that. I like trying to, I like that sort of cliche. I mean, yeah, it's kind of silly. It's kind of been played out, but why not? I like it. It's cool. And so basically the lesson for the episode is, yeah, it's okay to, it's okay, it's perfectly natural where, if you want to act like a tomboy, or if you're like a tom girl, I guess is the equivalent of a, if a little girl acts like a little boy, it's a tomboy, and if it's a little boy acts like a little girl, it's a tom girl. If you want to behave whatever the way you want to, that's perfectly fine. It is. And, if you want to, don't do that, that's fine too. You're free to be the kind of person that you totally want to be. And that's another very important lesson for kids. Although that being said, though I may be a grown man, I want girl time. I want to go to the spa. I would like to get massages and stuff like that. Although, it's funny because at the end of the episode, Anne's like, who's to say the boys don't like spas too? And Hop Pop and Sprig are like, you guys went to the spa? Oh, I love the spa. How was it? It was great. And they actually showed a scene where it's become, well, actually it's been a thing for a while now, where in spas nowadays, they have like those fish that eat the gross dead skin underneath your feet. The fish that eat dead skin off of your feet or whatever. And, they do that in Amphibia as well, which, that's great. I love that they're sort of incorporating stuff like that. And again, I would want some girl time. I want to go to the spa. I want a massage. That'd be awesome. I could rock some makeup. Hey, I'm a grown man, but I'm very comfortable with my sexuality. I'm just saying that right now. So, yes, I'm very comfortable with doing whatever. Within reason. There is such a thing as too far. There's totally such a thing as too far. And that's another important lesson that the episode brings, is that, yeah, it's okay to, behave like you're supposed to, but if you want to have fun, have fun. Just don't go crazy. Again, that's another really good thing about Amphibia. They're showing some really decent lessons for kids. I mean, yeah, they're lessons that we should all know about by now, but in this day and age, we tend to forget stuff like that, or, take it for granted. And while, yes, that can be an unfortunate circumstance, it's important to also, do a good job and, teach your kids like these sorts of values, because it could really help them out one day. Man, Amphibia is really starting to be a really good show. Man, seriously, the combination of AGT and Amphibia is really, like, kicking off Hump Day with style. I like that. I really hope it keeps up for a while. I didn't really mean to necessarily make that rhyme, but whatever, it works. Like, favorite, share, hit that subscribe button, Follow me on the social media platforms. I am humbled I made this video for all of you guys to watch and enjoy for today. I am hopeful we all have a wonderful hump day. And remember, if any of you guys ever want to talk or chat, I'm always going to be here to lend an ear, and I'll always have your back. Take care and make good choices.